Don't be afraid to pay, guys.
Yes.
Whew. So,
tough one here.
Certain types of people purposely put a paywall up so that they only deal with people that are serious. Okay? Whether it's you got to buy a Lamborghini to join a certain car club,
A Bugatti.
or a Bugatti club like Andrew Tate talked about, or you have to be a member of an exclusive spa, or you got to be a member of a certain gym, or you got to be paying to get into a mastermind group, or whatever it may be. If you want to learn from someone, very rarely do they let you join their group without you paying some kind of dividends. Because here's the reality, guys. You might not always get the opportunity to give free value to that person. You might not be able to get in a room with them to even be able to offer it.
That's facts.
So what you may have to do sometimes is you may have to invest and get into one of their masterminds or one of their groups or whatever it is, pay for a consultation, whatever it is, so that you can get some FaceTime with the person, see what you offer, advertise yourself, obviously in a very humble way, but at the same time displaying that you have authority, and then see if they want to work with you. You know what I mean? You got to offer value to some degree where they need it. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to pay, guys. I feel like a lot of people are cheap. They don't want to spend money. They don't want to take a chance and invest in themselves. Guys, I am not ashamed whatsoever to tell you that, yes, there have been situations where we've had big guests on that we might have had to, cover some expenses for them, whatever it may be. But that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? That's what it takes. Luckily, now we're at a point now where we don't necessarily have to do that as much. But early on, you got to put your money where your mouth is. You're a small YouTube channel, rising through the ranks, whatever it may be. You don't have the social proof yet. Because here's the thing that I noticed. Once we started getting like one or two guests that had some clout, I guess, if you guys want to say it, or had some following, right, to some degree, what happened was they would watch them on our platform. They kind of liked our vibe. They liked that we were a little bit different, and then they would sub to us. This is something called authority jacking, where if you make good content and you collab with certain people, you are inevitably going to take a portion of their audience. And that's not to say, I'm going to steal their audience or whatever, but you may offer something that they don't necessarily offer. I'll give you guys an example. Our boy Q Bank, shout out to him. A lot of traders watch him. He's one of the best Forex traders in the world, right? He came on the show, did us a solid. We did an interview with him. A lot of people follow him, right? And Q Bank's a stand-up guy. He reposted us on Instagram, all this other stuff. He didn't have to. And what happened was a lot of people that watch him also have trouble with girls, maybe. They might want to date, whatever it may be. So they see our podcast, they're like, oh, these guys talk about girls?
Yep.
Cool, I'm a trader, but I want to learn this too. Bang, subscribe. The guy that sold us our Range Rover, he found us through Q Banks.
Yep.
He was like, I was like, because I always like to ask when I meet people, how'd you find us? And he was like, oh, well, I watched the interview with Q Banks. He reposted you guys, and I found you guys, and I just started watching the content, listening, and I enjoyed it, and I mess with you guys now. And we've met so many people that met us through other content creators that they already were following for some other type of knowledge. So number one, have good content. Number two, collaborate with other people and don't be afraid to pay to collaborate. And then have confidence in your content that if you put me in front of eyeballs, people are going to come to us.
Facts.
That's why I went so hard with making sure this podcast setup, our studio, was A1. Because when you take yourself seriously and you take the business seriously and you invest in top tier mics, right? Table, lights, all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? People are going to take you seriously because they're like, whoa, this dude is these guys spent quite a bit of money on the studio. This is official. And then they're going to want to be a part of it. And the other thing too, I knew in 2020, you're starting to get into YouTube, you're kind of coming in the game late. YouTube is at a point now where you're competing with television networks, for an audience share. So if you want to be able to compete, you got to be working at the highest level. So I knew since we were starting at a deficit, we're starting YouTube fairly late. I was like, how are we going to make up for it? Let's throw money in this bad boy. Let's get this equipment. Let's get this high level. I'm confident in our content. People like the content. Now we just got to put it in the best presentation we can. And we're here today. You know what I'm saying? Now, am I going to say, does everyone have a bunch of money that they can that they've been sitting on saving that they can invest in a studio? No. But every time you can get a good piece of equipment, do it. Take your content seriously if you want to do this, guys, because we're getting to a point now with YouTube where if you want to compete, you have to have good production quality.
Yeah.
People will not tolerate bad sound, bad video to a degree maybe, but bad sound, all those stuff, they won't tolerate that, guys. So when you take yourself seriously, other people are going to take you seriously. They're going to want to work with you. They'll take a chance on you, and then bang. All you need is a chance. But to get that chance, you got to put yourself in a position where it makes sense for them to even give you that chance.